Hi, it's Heather. Today we're going to do some movement for the lymphatic system. So the lymph moves fluid in the body. And I have a hard time with that in my body, but we generally do when the weather is hot and humid and sticky, particularly sticky, because that fluid wants to glob up inside you. So these are movements that you can do anytime. You may want to do them though when you're in private and not necessarily all of them in public. We're going to start here, which is where the lymph kind of gathers, called the terminus. And we're just going to start by giving a little circle. It's almost at the center of the chest. And I still have on that heart monitor, so we're going to try to get around that today. Then you're going to go from the left side. So it's kind of along or below the collarbone on this side, where you could tap down towards the center chest. You can make circles down towards the center chest. Good. And then we'll just do the other side. So we'll tap down towards the center chest. And we'll circle down towards the center chest. Good. All right, so the next place we're going to work on is from between sort of the back of the ears, behind the ears, down, not on top of the chin, but just slightly below that jawline. And we're going to tap, kind of going into the center. So with this one, if you can go to both sides at once, go to both sides at once. If not, start with one side and switch to the other side. Well, let's do this for 20 to 30 seconds. And then we'll do circles, sort of in the same sort of area, the same direction. Good. So if you feel like tapping again after you've circled, that's okay. Now I like to draw down sort of the neck. I feel I get some phlegm kind of stuck in here, and I find that kind of tapping or moving down the neck also helps, but bringing it back to that center chest again. Good. Yeah, so all of those you may not want to do sitting out in public. All right, especially this one kind of getting underneath your arm and you're into your armpit. You don't have to push hard. The idea is that you're pushing in a way that kind of moves the skin and some of the tissue underneath, tapping down alongside of the body and the outside of the breast, and relax. And let's do that on the other side. So tapping. Good. So optimum time to do this is when you're naked and just before you're taking a shower. So you can get this going before your shower. Then we're going to work on just the upper part of the abdominal. So we're just bringing it in and kind of up. So it's almost like that circle and then a tap. We're sort of circling and tapping, circling and tapping, circling and tapping. All right, and then this next one is just inside the groin area. There's lots of lymph nodes in there, so we want to move those, and we're going to move those up towards the belly. Good. Then we want to get in behind the knees. So we want to get up behind the knees. If you can, and you can pick a leg up and you can do it this way. So when you're waiting for your shower, this might not be ideal. This might be a sitting one, not a standing one. So when you're standing, you might just want to tap the back of your knees. And now let's just work it up, back up to the hips, back up to the belly, and then let that go. Good. So again, that's something you can do anytime, but I highly recommend it when you're about to take your shower so that you have clothes off, you can move that skin around a little bit more. One you can do at any time and in public is just tapping out your heels. So this one, people tend to kind of do this or tap their heels and move around, perhaps when they're bored or they're required to sit and starting to get that feeling of being a little fidgety inside. And it's a good signal to tell you that you really need to move, and here's something you can do to move without, disturbing people around you. You can be a little more subtle about it. You can go one heel at a time, but just let yourself move a little bit in your seat and again, tap it out. Good. All right, so let's come up to stand. And standing, you could do something similar where you're just bouncing on the heels. So they're not coming up high. Probably can't see that. They're not coming up very high, but you're just kind of doing a little bit of a bounce. And that's again something you can do any time in the day. Maybe when you feel like you should be moving, but you can't go out, or it's really, really hot, but you just want a little bit of general movement. It's probably time to move your lymph. Good. Okay, so then just really quickly standing before your shower, to break it down into its simplest parts, you could do the chest movements, start on the left, go to the right. You could do ears to the chin, and you could do it with both hands or one side and then the other. Notice I'm crossing over. It's a little bit easier, I think, on the shoulder to do that. We'll skip the neck if you're going into the shoulder and get right under the armpits and down the side body. Same with the other side, down the side body, into the center. So we tend to get tight in here, in sort of where almost like the stomach, everything you're digesting sort of starts to come in the stomach. We can get tight in there, so we want to move that. You can take it around the body. Good. And then from there, just the groin. And to do the knees standing, you'd have to be able to sort of bend and reach back behind the legs. You can do one at a time, one at a time. So just be careful here. Make sure knees are bent. And if you need to come up, walk up your legs. Good. And so let's just finish with a little bit of a bounce on those heels. Good. Well, I feel like I've been for a run. That was a good lot of movement, and we didn't really go very far. Well, have a wonderful day. May you have peace in your body, peace in your mind, and peace in your life.